I recently finished watching the Fleischer Studios Superman cartoons, and I realised I had a couple of the famous studios ones left, so I figured I'd check them out. And one of the three is Japoteurs, which was released in 1942. This one is directed by Seymour Kneitel and Myron Waldman, written by Bill Turner and Carl Meyer, with a voice cast including Joan Alexander, Jackson Beck, Jack Mercer, Sam Parker, and Lee Royce. The animation is very good. The narrative pacing and structure are not too bad, but I definitely didn't care for this one. But it's also interesting, which sounds contradictory, but I'll explain what I mean by that. As a story, I didn't care. But as a piece of history, pretty fascinating, because this was released, as I said, 1942, and it's about the Japanese characters hijacking this giant bomber. At the start of the cartoon, they create this giant bomber and everything looks colossal and it's very well done. And then the Japanese characters come along and threaten, well, they do try to steal it and threaten Lois Lane's safety. And of course, Superman has to come along and save the day. And because this is set during the war with the Allies and the Axis, I think that is very interesting. And that part of it, from a historical perspective, I thought was pretty fascinating. The interpretation of Japanese characters, not as offensive as I was thinking. Superman did refer to one of them as Little Man at one point, which was a little bit awkward, but it wasn't as racist as I was expecting, which doesn't seem like something that should be celebrated. It should just be a fact that they're not going to be racist, but it is the 40s, and there are some pretty shocking cartoons out there from around this time. But this one's not too bad in that regard. If it sounds like a story that would interest you, then I'd say it's worth checking out. The cartoon is about 9 minutes, and the pacing, it could have been a little bit quicker to begin with, but in general, it's pretty good. The narrative structure works well, there's a decent amount of characters in this, the animation quality is really good, so the story doesn't appeal to me in general, but from a historical perspective, yeah, there were definitely things in this that I thought were quite interesting. So, not a personal favourite for the tale, but also kind of enjoyed it, so not too bad. I think I have 2 more Superman cartoons left from famous studios, and Japoteurs is one I think is worth watching.